So this is my 1986 BMW 535i. Picked it up, not running, had to tow it home, of course. It did crank over, and that's all I knew. So the first thing I did here was pop open the fuel tank, because I know it sat for about 5 to 10 years or something. So I wanted to look at the fuel sending unit, the fuel pump and everything. Here's me doing all that. And yeah, you'll see how that stuff looks here in a second. This is what I pulled out. Pretty bad. I don't know. Get one of these tins out for the heat shield. Got one more in the front. And then the other heat shield this time will be on the ground. No jacks needed. This gas tank's full of fuel too. That one's out. That's the last one. We got the front one, got all of them off, and it's coming down here. It's a little bit violent because it's full, but we are on the ground, and it took the exhaust with it, but that's okay. I was expecting it to. I'm ashamed to admit I did cheat a little bit. Just because the neck sticks up quite a bit. Can't get it under without lifting the car up just slightly. But if you didn't have a big exhaust in the way, you'd be able to do it. But there you go. Here is my gas tank. And yeah, she's full to the brim too. It's not very good. Kind of looks like a aquarium in there. So I don't think this gas tank is very good. I mean, you know, I do have a fuel cell laying around. Same size about, this is 17. Fuel cell's 15, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So now I'm plumbing. So sitting in it right after this is gonna be a inline fuel pump. And that's gonna this guy. Because this guy is going to connect to the old one, which I'll show you here in a sec. And this guy's going to run up through this. The silver part's going to run up through that hatch, go to another normal line. It's going to connect to the end of the fuel pump. And I basically do kind of the same thing with the return. And this ain't going to sit like this. It's going to sit 90 degrees to the right. But I don't have my fuel pump yet. They said it's going to come today. It ain't come yet. I'm not even in the garage. I'm on the street doing this shit. I just get under the car and I try to figure out. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but it doesn't run, so I can't get it into a garage. Gotta do it on the street. And I'm doing all this with fuel inside the tank, so I gotta clamp it off before I do anything. Fishing through the top right now, so that close. Yeah, I'm getting on the old sending line. Ow. All these guys, that's the old fuel filter, old fuel pump. That's all going to be not needed. So I'm getting on that right now. It's going to go up to there. There you go. This is so much fun. Who needs a lift? Jack even. Just lay on the street. Plumb up a whole fuel system. There you go. Now we are on the old one. Just gonna go up there. We're going from there. So you can see this guy. It was the old old fuel pump line. So that's the end of that guy that I just showed you. And this is the return line right here, which I'm just gonna go from right here because she's still on. So the big hole that I showed you, this is of course the cover because there was the gas tank there, of course. So what I'm doing here is I'm making itty bitty holes. So it's gonna be a little metal line for the sending. It's gonna be a little metal line for the return. And then this is gonna be the big breather. So try to get some of the elements out. It won't be perfect because there's gonna be a little bit of space, and I'm gonna have to tape these up so it doesn't over time cut into the fuel line. That'd be bad. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna go put it on the car and show you what I mean exactly here. Got her all taped up. Won't cut through nothing now. Making some good progress here. See my sleek routing of the fuel lines. And that's the hole for that. I'm also gonna gotta cut another hole for the breather, which is gonna be this guy. This line has to fit through there. And then yeah, dude, see there? Got my breather hose down there. Got the fuel gauge wire. I don't think I need this guy anymore. That was for the old intake pump. But I'm also gonna have to fit 2 wires for the fuel pump wire in through here too, which I think there is enough room, which is perfect. And then, so it's gonna loop around. Fuel pump gonna be right there maybe. And then fuel pump gonna go boom. I'm also gonna put some blocks of wood on the right side. Tank so it's pretty slanted. And you want the low side to be here. This is where the fuel comes out. Now I'm doing the hardest part. Just taking the old wiring off the fuel pump, which I got one side off. And I gotta somehow solder those and extend them with new wire to where I need to go right there. And I'm doing this all with the car on a piece of wood just to give me a little few more inches with that much room. I already got them off, but they aren't colored or anything, so I don't know which one is positive, which one's negative. It's gonna be fun. Dude, the jack mount, that is perfect. Shut up, BMW. Howdy, neighbor. Make sure your battery's unplugged when you do this. Mine's dead and it's unplugged. So I'm really okay. Also, if it is possible, I'd recommend doing this in a garage. Not like my dumbass is doing. Uh-oh. There's 3 wires. I don't know which one is which. I guess I'm gonna solder all of them. The wire's expensive, dude. Copper or whatever. One time, I was exploring an abandoned building. I ran into some homeless guy stealing copper. He's a really cool guy. I apologize in advance for showing you this. It doesn't gotta be perfect, right? That'll do it. As long as this isn't melting away right now. As long as it'll send voltage, dude, I don't care. You gotta do those top guys now, which are different gauge. Now we're starting 2 out of 3. I just broke my soldering gun. Just needed a new tip. That'll do, right? Yeah, totally. Alright, 2 out of 3. My pink wire. My guy. Yeah, that looks really good. We're totally not, didn't split that wire. I gotta redo that. Got the air fuel pump. Walboro. It's gonna go. About right there. So I finished up the last wire down there. Couldn't really record it because it was getting dark. But we're all good down there. Got everything plumbed up here. Got everything through. Got the new pump on. This isn't exactly how it's gonna sit. Just making sure everything works for a sec here. So now I figured out this one is positive. This one is ground. This one, no. She's all wired up. I'm gonna go jump the fuel pump relay, and y'all should hear it click on if I wired it right. So I'm gonna go do that. I could tell it was working because my fuel pressure regulator was making funny noises. I don't know what that's about. Oh yeah, it's definitely working. But that's good. I hopefully wired it right. This isn't gonna be how it's gonna be. This is, I gotta get rid of some of these. Like this, I'm gonna get rid of this kind of uphill, and then that's a little funky. So I guess I'm gonna see if it'll start now. This is my first time really trying to start this thing, so we'll see. It does have spark. Got 2 new crank position sensors, and I got the light, you know, the timing light on there, conductive pickup, and the spark is pretty good, at least I think. So this should have been why it didn't start before, but I don't know. That it runs. That's the first time I've ever heard this car run. It's great. Doesn't want to stay running. Doesn't like to run. It's probably because of this guy's a little bit of a vacuum leak there. So, and here, this is broken too. But hell yeah, man, that's good. I'm happy that all it needed was a whole new fuel tank and fuel pump and everything. But I might not sound very excited, but me being me, it's a little hard to display emotions, but that is great, you know. I've had this car for a little bit. I don't even know if there's a tank, I don't even know where it's gonna sit. It's gonna be in here, but I don't know where. I think I'm gonna have this guy, as it is now, just go through the floor so this isn't as much of a uphill. I'm gonna carry test wires around when I drive this car, don't worry. Because those solders are horrible. I gotta probably put more gas in it, but I'm gonna see if I can get her to run on her own real quick again. After I RTV the top of that air flow meter, and then we'll try again. Because I'll be holding it at an RPM, and then it'll just kind of decide, you know what, I'm gonna die now. Before I keep going, I gotta change the oil, because I have full service history on this thing, which is pretty nice. And the last oil change was 12 years ago. 5,000 miles ago. This car's just been sitting for a while. So I got to do that because that oil is probably not very oily anymore. And then I got to make sure it has coolant, and I got to put more gas in the tank, and then we'll see what happens from there. So I just took these out, blew Loctite, retorqued them down 10 foot-pounds, just did a little more than that, but Yeah, I think actually the issue is, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a little bit of an abrasive. It's kind of beaten up there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I think that's why it's leaking. So I'm gonna have to get a new valve cover here, which is. And then I'm waiting on my boot. Get my new boot. Maybe less vacuum leak. And then I'm gonna replace everything spark related, really. So that'll be good. So ran it for about 2 minutes and it started smoking pretty bad right here. So I think the valve cover was bad. So I took everything off. I have everything apart. Took a while. And it looks okay. But one of the nuts was missing and I later found it down here. So I think it backed itself off because there's no washer on it. So I gotta fix that. And I think that issue will be solved. And then I think the issue is spark related with it not still running to run right. So I'm going to replace all of this. Cap, rotor, plug wires, everything. And then of course I got a new boot coming. So I took all that off too. So currently waiting on parts. But saw this funny little ground. That's a lot of grounds. It's like 10 grounds. So cleaned that up real good. Maybe it's a better ground now. Man, it's such a crazy engine, man. It's such a well-designed engine. It's like, I was doing the oil change. I didn't mention I did an oil change on it. And that bolt there to get the housing out, man, they designed the intake so you could pull it out of the way. Dude, they're so, like, that's so smart. You know, not everybody does that, man. But BMW does. At least they used to. They don't do that anymore. But they did in the 80s. It's currently 20 degrees American out. But got the new parts, got new valve cover gasket. And new intake boots. I'm gonna put them on. Got the new gasket on there. And I got me washers. Got like 6 of them. Because almost none of these had washers. I don't know why. That's probably why it was leaking. Somebody at one point did a valve cover gasket job and lost all the washers, I guess. But I got some, so I'm gonna put it on back together and it shouldn't leak. And then I got a whole barrage of parts that I might also put on. I don't know. But this here intake boot is the most important one. That might fix my here problem. But I got a cap, rotor, spark plugs, plug wires, coil, coolant temp sensor, a couple other things. So we'll see what it needs. All right, valve cover gasket on, new intake boot on. Had to take some things off after I put them back on because I did some things in the wrong order, but should hopefully run correctly now. If not, I have all the other parts that it could be if it's not this. So we'll see what happens. Oh man, yeah, no. All right. Something else is still wrong. It sounded worse than it did, I think, but gotta double check I have everything connected properly. But yeah, it's a brand new intake boot, so that I thought that was gonna fix it, but it's something else. I'm gonna guess coolant temp sensor, maybe. So I was taking off the intake airbox stuff, and my MAF sensor made a noise like the blade just shut. So I think it was stuck open before, and I just fired it up and it idled for a sec. So I'm gonna see. Oh my goodness. See, it idles for a little bit. It just saved itself. That wasn't even me. Yeah, I don't know. It's better. Oh, come on. All right, so it's better than it was, but it still doesn't want to fully idle on its own. So there's still something else wrong. I have a new cap, rotor, plug wires, and spark plugs. I'm gonna put all those on. New coolant temp sensor. If that doesn't fix it, new coolant temp sensor, and then we'll see what it does after that. All right, got the cap off, which it's advised that you take off the shroud and the fan, but I managed to do it without doing that. It's a little bit tight getting it out, and it's a real pain in the ass getting the bolts. But now I'm gonna take that rotor off because I got a new rotor, And I don't know, these look pretty good. I'll show you that cap. Guess it'll be replaced, but I mean, I don't think it's too bad. There's the old rotor. Oh, new cap and rotor are on. If you ever find yourself doing this, I'd take off the fan, because man, it's a tight fit. Very specifically sized tools, but it's on. So now I gotta do spark plugs and plug wires and. All right, so we got a bit of a problem here. The one on the right is the old spark plug. You can see that connection. And I bought all this as a kit. The cap, rotor, spark plugs, it all came in the same box. And that connection, this is the new spark plug, doesn't fit these plug wires. The old one does, this one, but these are shot. So even though I bought all this as a kit, they sent me the wrong connection for the plug wires to the spark plugs. So that's nice. Now luckily, if you go to my Mercedes video, which is top right, I tried to save that car, didn't end well, but I bought spark plugs for it and I had the exact same problem. It's like the people who sell these don't even check that they're the right plug connection. It's ridiculous. But those are here, R6s. Or these are the ones that came out. The one on the right is the one that came out. These are the new ones that I bought for a 66 Mercedes. As you can see, they're pretty close. Same size. And they look like they'd fit. Same connection. And I checked the connection, they do fit. This is a common issue on these fucking old cars. Maybe it's German cars only. But the plug wires that you buy sometimes aren't the right connection, even though if you buy them in one complete kit from somebody who says all of this will work together, even though it doesn't. All right. I'm lucky I had those spark plugs laying around. They're in now, and they seem to work so far. Haven't ran it yet, but put the new plug wire set on. And at least those fit the cap. They're the right connection. So they got one part of it right, just not the other one. So we'll put the MAF guy on it and see if all of this makes a difference or not. And also I over torqued the shit out of the spark plugs, but none of them broke, so I'm gonna leave them. It's supposed to be like 20 foot-pounds. I'd estimate they're probably about 60. The only thing I didn't replace is the coil. So just ran it, and not very much difference. Runs about the same. So yeah. So I disconnected the coolant temp sensor, and it's doing a lot better now. It still dies if you let it go down, but that might be because it's disconnected. And I think that tells me that my coolant temp sensor is bad. But I don't know, maybe something. It idled by itself for like 10 seconds, and now it's just wanting to bounce. I'm saving it from dying, so that's all. I'm not putting any throttle into it right now, and it's holding at 1.6. So, and it's gonna probably drop down right here and die. Oh, man, this is like I can't stand this. It's like watching someone drown. They want to die, but they just can't. Yeah, so I think that my coolant temp sensor is bad. I have a new one. I think this one is the one I need to replace, and it was the one I have. This doesn't mean that this actually is the source of the problem, because these cars are kind of complex in a way. Because when this is plugged in, it tells it through voltage that, hey, we're cold, add more fuel. Might be something else, but I have one, so I'm gonna replace it. And then I found a vacuum leak, perhaps right here. Maybe, I don't know. There's probably another vacuum leak somewhere. Who knows? Chose kind of a bad day to work, but I'm gonna get her done. All right, so I replaced the coolant temp sensor. Didn't change a damn thing. Still runs better with it unplugged. And it started to idle at about 3,000 RPM. So I tried to find vacuum leaks, and it's hard to find vacuum leaks when the car's already at 3,000 RPM, because it's already so fucking loud that you can't really tell. But I couldn't find any major ones. So I cleaned the idle control valve. Didn't really need cleaning. It works pretty good. Still runs like shit. And I don't think it's a fuel pressure issue, because, man, this thing will go all the way to redline if you wanted to. And when it's all the way up at 2,800 RPM or wherever, if I play with the flap and the AFM, if I open the flap in the AFM, that cools it down. I can get it to idle where I want it to. It doesn't sound right, so I know that that's not the right way to do it, but that might tell me something. So even I got the car pretty warm when I was running it, and I plugged the coolant temp sensor back in, still ran like shit. The one thing I'm gonna try is unplugging the O2 sensor, see what that does. I'm considering maybe it's either the AFM. I don't think it is. It could be, I guess. Or it could be failing ECU, which is great. Cool car though. When it was idling, I put it in gear and it moves forward and it moves backwards, which is good. Just doesn't stay running good enough to be able to drive it. So got a few coolant leaks as well. So I gotta unplug the O2 sensor, see what that does. Which I don't think it'll do anything. And then probably gonna have to take out the ECU connectors, do all the fancy science, electromagnetic testing. So when I give it throttle here, it just dies. I just disconnected the O2 sensor, by the way. Any sort of throttle like cuts it down. But here in a sec, once it finishes idling, it'll do the opposite. So here you go, it's about to die. Now when I give it throttle, I'm saving it. Got the new fuel pressure regulator on there. I don't know if that's gonna fix my problem. I don't think it is, but it might. So I'm about to see if it'll fire up. I tested all the terminals on the ECU, on the connector of the ECU, and they all seem to be okay in terms of everything. So that doesn't mean the ECU is okay. It means everything before the ECU is okay. So I guess we'll see if this fixes my problem. I know my coolant temp sensor's unplugged, but I want it to be unplugged. My O2 sensor didn't do anything when I had it unplugged versus plugged, so I plugged it back in. So we're about to see if this fixes my issue. Doing better, but it kind of like, once it starts to fall, it wants to die. I'm saving it when it falls, so well, I guess maybe the FPR was bad or something. I don't know, man. And I also gosh, that lighting's horrible. I also cleaned the ICV valve. Plugging the CTS didn't help, so now I'm gonna test the ohms on the AFM terminals. So this connector is good, checks out, has all the volts that it should. Just going from experience, I think it's a vacuum leak. That's what it feels like. I had an old MR2 that did this kind of thing, and it was a vacuum leak. So I got some temporary stuff because I think it's leaking from there. And I found one entire vacuum hose that was just floating, and I found where it needed to go. So I did just, there was a vacuum leak. Doesn't mean it was the problem though. So we'll see what it does now. This car is so fucked. I mean, like, there's something so horribly wrong. Oh my God. Go down. Kind of dies and then it does that and then it comes back down. And you try to give it throttle again and it does it again. And, I plugged the coolant temp sensor in and it still runs worse. Mind you, I don't know if I've said this, but that is a brand new coolant temp sensor. I've ohms tested it and it checks out. And I don't know why it runs better with it unplugged. But with it plugged in, it should be pretty rich, and it dies when it's rich. So it tells me maybe we're running too rich all the time. I don't fucking know. I think there's still a gargantuan vacuum leak somewhere. I gotta find it, so. Nice here, fella. Had some vacuum leaks around the edges. So I lubed it up with this silly stuff. Gonna see if that works. Hopefully it does. I think that's where most of my vacuum leaks are coming from because it was kind of everywhere. So we'll see what happens after this. All right, look at that. Oh, it still doesn't like throttle. Hold on, we gotta let her warm up maybe. This is the best it's ever ran. I was right. There were vacuum leaks there. I don't think you're supposed to do this. I'm gonna shut her off. I still don't know what that's about. It just keeps climbing. Yeah, there's still something very, very wrong. So I don't know. So when it runs, it just keeps going. It'll idle at 111, and then it'll go to 1600, and then it'll slowly climb to 2, and then it'll climb to 2600, and it'll just sit at like 3000 RPM. I don't know why. And I plugged the coolant temp sensor back in, doesn't run at all. Well, it barely runs. You have to give it throttle, and it doesn't want to do anything. It's just sputtery. And one thing I haven't checked was the ICV resistance, idle control valve, and I just checked it, and it's good. So still don't know. So then I checked the throttle position sensor, and the top pin only clicks on like ohms wise at wide open throttle, and it worked. But the other pin, the bottom pin, only clicks on resistance wise when the plate's closed, and it doesn't work. So I might have an issue there, or my butterfly isn't closing all the way. Man, these screws are pain. This one was really seized, and it was rounding off on me, man. I gave everything pushing that way. Boy, and I barely got it on free. Basically rounded it off, but barely saved it. So I got her off, and there's this little rod that it rests on. As you can see, the rod's connected straight to the throttle. So we open the throttle, rod spins. That rod kind of points to the fact the butterfly might be open a little bit. Oh, I'm in here because it's fucking freezing cold out. But I'm pretty sure the TPS doesn't click when the car should be idling, if that makes sense. Because the throttle isn't closing all the way, or the TPS is bad. But what that tells me is the car was never in idle mode. It never. I was always thinking it should be running because the TPS never clicked into idle mode because it never saw the butterfly close all the way, or the TPS is bad. So that kind of tells us a lot. So I think I found part of the problem. I found a lot of problems. They've all come together. But you hear that clicking? That's it going into idle mode. You can see the mounting hole. Before it was mounted like this, which means it can never go to idle mode. It needs to be mounted like this. Hear the click? Part of that reason was the bottom screw is gone. So maybe I just need to readjust the mounting here, and we'll be good. Kind of explains why the screw was so tight and why I was rounding it off. Because if it wasn't tight enough, the sensor wouldn't go into idle mode. So I'm gonna go make this a flathead and find another screw. So I took an angle grinder and made the screw a flathead, and now I got it in, and I heard it click. It's in the idle position, so I'm gonna plug it back in, see what happens. I don't know. This is probably just another small issue of a bigger issue, but we'll see. This is the smoothest. This is amazing. This car was never in idle mode. That was it, man. That was that fucking throttle position sensor. It's a good sensor, just wasn't mounted correctly, and it still is missing another screw. It's only held in by one screw, so I gotta figure that out. We are dropping here. It's getting a little rough, so we're gonna see if it holds. Boy, it doesn't like throttle at all. So I was correct in my statement that this was just gonna be a small issue of a still bigger problem, because I got it to run a little bit better. But with the CTS plugged in, it still runs like shit. But hey, it ran a lot better. It doesn't go to 3,000 RPMs on its own anymore, which is really good. So now the car knows it should be in idle mode. It still dies when it's in idle mode, but I think that's because something else is going on that is still broken, or a vacuum leak or something. This fucking car's killing me, bro. Now she won't start. I think I got an electrical issue somewhere. Man, I think the cold's getting to me. That might be part of my problem. My ICV valve's been unplugged this entire time. Alright, let's see what happens now. So I think the ICV valve being unplugged flooded the engine. So I think that's the problem. But the biggest problem was I didn't have it plugged in. So I think the engine's flooded as fuck. I don't know. It's cold as fuck out here, man. It's so I think I just simply forgot to plug it back in. It's crazy that it ran though without it plugged in. It ran pretty damn good. It was sitting at $1,000, by itself. Boy. I don't want to jinx it, but she's running really good right now. Like the worst time of year to work on a car in the street and there's snow on the ground. She's been idling smoothly here, 1100 RPM for the past few minutes. So I think I got most of the problems figured out. Unless there's an intermittent electrical issue. I think there still is probably a small vacuum leak somewhere, someplace. But she's doing pretty good. The coolant temp sensor still isn't on. So I bet it'll probably still run like shit with it plugged in, but I'm gonna so it does idle good, but it really doesn't like any throttle input, which is bad. That means something else is wrong. We technically got it to idle and run good though, so that's good. Alright, so it was just idling here. I plugged the coolant temp sensor in and it died. Just straight up died. So, and it doesn't really like any throttle, so we still have some work to do. Almost up to temperature. Windows work. They go up too, at least for now. No. It was delayed. I didn't even do that. If you stick in it, it kind of takes it. Yeah, it's not very good. So I was looking at the orders of all the stuff I bought for this car. And I looked at the coolant temp sensor. It's for a 2011 Mercedes. I don't know if you knew this, but this ain't a 2011 Mercedes. I don't know how it fit. It threaded in and everything. But yeah, that might be part of my problem. I got the wrong coolant temp sensor on it. That's probably why when you plug it in, the car doesn't want to run. Yeah, so I got a new one coming. But what I just did is I took that one out, the new one that's for a Mercedes. And I put the old one back in. Now I'm going to try it and see what it does. But it's probably fucked. Because it kind of looks like it's from 1986. So we'll see what it does. I don't think it's going to make a difference. What else should I do? Oh, there was a ground strap that wasn't grounded. Well, it's just the strap from the chassis to the engine. So I don't think it's too big of a deal. But I put that back on. I think that's all I've done. Yeah. So we'll see if it makes a difference. Battery's getting tired. Oh no. Yeah, it still runs like shit. Oil pressure is really flashing at me, which... Alright, we're good now. It's never acted like this. This is kind of strange. Everything this car does is strange. This is strange in a different way than all the other ones. Alright, coolant temp sensor is unplugged. The old one. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. No throttle. Idling all on its own. Okay, it still doesn't like throttle though. I just gave it throttle and I wanted to die, so that's not good. Let me try it again. Yeah, fuck. It still doesn't like throttle. So when I give it quick throttle, it doesn't like it. When I give it slow throttle, it does okay. So I don't know what that means, but I guess it means something, hopefully. So I think she's good enough to take her for a little spin. Or it does take throttle, it's just a little bit hesitant to do so. First time putting on the seatbelt. I'm driving it. Honestly, feels okay, so I'm not going very fast. Hope I can get back to where I need to go. Hopefully it doesn't die. I'm gonna try to shift here. Whew. Second gear. It does not feel good though. There's something wrong with the throttle and stuff. or something. This might have been too premature of a drive. Hopefully I can get back. Brakes work. Brakes work. Turn signal doesn't. The throttle works. The throttle does work. Sorry, I lost you guys there. That's because I floored it. I floored it and it didn't sputter or anything, so it kind of works. Bit of a situation. I was trying to get her on my driveway instead of the street. The street's not a great place to work on stuff. But getting up here it died, now it doesn't want to start. But I think it flooded again, as it has done. So, since it's flooded, I just kind of gotta have it sit here and wait. Got her to there before she stalled again, so I guess we're getting somewhere. Not the straightest parking job though. Yeah, she still isn't running very good. I think she floods herself. But, I mean, it's here, so gotta figure out why it's running so obtusely rich. Yeah. Hey, I'm not on the street anymore though, so that's a plus. Got her straight now. Boy, we're upgrading here. We are off the street. So waiting on the correct coolant temp sensor now. That might do something, probably not. Seems like there's still a big issue somewhere. It's running really rich. So still gotta figure some stuff out here. Got a new one of those coming. That leaks. And it loses, that's pressurized and it loses pressure. You can hear it after it runs for a long time. So it's really sketchy. It might blow up one of these days. Got a whole new one of those coming, kind of expensive. New radiator hoses, thermostat. I have the thermostat and the hoses laying around. So yeah, I have a couple parts, but still don't know why it doesn't want to run good. Injectors clogged? Possibly. I'm gonna get this temp sensor in, man. I'm gonna do it actually pretty close this time. This was the wrong one that I put in there that I was trying to run the car on. A little bit different. A little bit different. There we go. New one's on there. The connector suffered some trauma. It's just really brittle. It happened when I first pulled it off and I basically first got this car. So I might have to get a new one of those in the future, or use some glue or something. But I mean, it's the right sensor now. So that might make a difference. That disgusting fucking thing's off there. Got that beautiful clear one on there now. Got some coolant in it. Everything fits, I think. It's real nice, man. This fucker was expensive. But I still haven't ran it with the new CTS. But I got some new vacuum lines for these guys and this guy. Just want to do those, and then I'll probably run it. New vacuum line on the FPR, and then I was doing this guy, and I just barely put tension on it, and it yeah, that was probably one of my vacuum leaks. Was that? So we found one of them. That little nozzle right there. Got this new vacuum line on there, so that puppy's sealed up, so one less vacuum leak. I think I'm gonna start it, see if that guy makes a difference or not. Let's hope it does. I don't know what just happened. That's a strange noise. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what it was. Guarantee it's a fucking coolant temp sensor still. Watch, I'm gonna unplug it. It's gonna run great. Yeah. Wow. Wouldn't have guessed. That's just the child trying to drop idle actually, which is never done before. Yep, 900. A little bit stumbly, not too bad. I still don't know what to do about that, man. That's full throttle, and it stumbles and it won't go past 2.9. In my experience, that's either a fuel filter or a ignition coil. It's got a brand new fuel filter, doesn't have a brand new ignition coil, so I think I'm just going to replace the ignition coil, because I had a Honda that did that of this same era, so, and the ignition coil solved it, so I guess we'll see. We still have smoke coming up around here. I have no idea what it's from. Brand new valve cover gasket. I don't know. It's not good. So before I order a new one, I'm just checking her out. 2.4 ohms between the side terminals. It should be about 0.8. So that's off. And then this, 5.5 kilo ohms. It should be about 9 to 10 kilo ohms. So this guy is definitely my issue. Made in Germany. I wonder if this is the original coil. New coil installed. Still runs about the same. It takes throttle slightly better, but there's still something else wrong, of course. This is with the coolant temp sensor unplugged. I plugged the coolant temp sensor back in, it dies. But it does rev past 2.9 now. So the coil was bad. But that was only a very small part of a still big problem. I just drove it like a mile. Did really good at first. And then at the end, it started running like complete dog shit. And it wouldn't rev past like 2.5 maybe. So we still got something big wrong. I'd hit a bump, and the car would stumble for a second, and then it'd be fine after I passed the bump. And the brakes break, it shifts. I went to 4th gear. It really started to run like shit at the end though. I probably got to test fuel pressure. So I did a bunch of thinking. It turns out there's a cold start valve way under there. And I just put all this back together. But I just took that intake off and I unplugged it. Unplugged the cold start valve. Now I'm gonna see, maybe it was stuck open. It was just pouring fuel. I'm gonna see if that makes a difference. I didn't even know this car had a cold start valve. And I was just taking that off because, I replaced the idle control valve hose. You see that nice little new lettering? It's this hose, I just replaced that. I don't have a lot of faith because this car has never ran with the coolant temp sensor plugged in, so. Who would have thought? Yeah, still doesn't like throttle. Just flooded it. It's just dumping fuel up its fucking ass. Brand new fuel pressure regulator. I've replaced half the fucking engine compartment at this point. I got no fucking clue. When it died just now, I was pedal, and now it's flooded. So that makes me think that when I first give it gas, or when I give it gas at all, it just floods the fuck. It just dumps fuel. Cold start valve's unplugged. Coolant temp sensor valve's unplugged. And it won't run with it plugged in. You know what? I'm gonna go plug it in. I'm gonna try my best to fucking run it. I'm gonna try to keep it alive here. Okay. So now it'll take throttle, but it won't stay running. Its coolant temp sensor's plugged in. If I don't give it throttle, it's gonna just die. So I'm giving her beans to keep her alive if I let up here. Doesn't take throttle unless the coolant temp sensor is plugged in. But it doesn't idle on its own if the coolant temp sensor is plugged in. It's a brand new coolant temp sensor. I think my ECU's bad, man. I've gone through a lot of things here. I think all I have left to do is test the fuel pressure, because I haven't done that. It's kind of stupid, that because these cars are very, very dependent on good fuel pressure. I'm gonna test fuel pressure. So I'm gonna bet that it's good. I think it is the ECU, because I didn't record it when I drove it recently, but it ran good for like the first 20 seconds, and then it like flipped into this mode where it just ran like shit. Didn't rev past 2.5 grand. Maybe the throttle position sensor is stuck in idle mode. No, it's not, because it flips. And I thought I tested that, and I thought it was good. And I'm lost. I don't know. This car really makes me miss carbureted 350 small blocks. These fucking things have 14 sensors, and the small blocks are like, carburetor. Well, maybe the cold start valve is, even though I unplugged it, maybe it's still just leaking. Maybe I gotta block the fuel line to it and then try again. That doesn't really make sense though, because the car still just doesn't take throttle unless the coolant temp sensor is plugged in. And then if the coolant temp sensor is plugged in, it doesn't idle. I'm gonna block the fuel line that goes to the cold start valve, and we're gonna see what happens then. That's the fuel line that goes to the cold start valve. And I've ice gripped it off, hopefully. Still runs like shit. Well, one thing I did notice is the throttle position sensor it clicks into idle mode, but it also should click into wide open throttle mode, and it doesn't. But that still doesn't make fucking sense though. Cause why, with the coolant temp sensor plugged in, does the car rev fine, and then with it unplugged it doesn't? That makes no fucking sense. All these fucking forums I'm looking at, man, they all fucking lead nowhere. I've already fucking done that. Replace your fuel pressure regulator. Yeah, I have. So I got the fuel line off the fuel rail. That is the most grafted fuel line I've ever experienced. But now what I'm gonna do is put a little gauge right here, put it back on, probably replace this part of it at least, and then I can see the fuel pressure. I've been looking at so many forums. I feel like I've looked at probably 50, and a good portion of them, they're like, fuel pressure regulator. They say the same shit over and over, the things I've already replaced and checked. And then a decent amount of them are just like, hey guys, I figured it out. I just swapped a spare ECU into it and it fixed the problem. I'm gonna get a permanent setup here. There's gonna be a permanent gauge, fuel pressure gauge right there. It's gonna be nice. So I'm gonna do this anyways. Got this here piece of machinery. Nice, man. Really nice, really nice. Now I get to see what my fuel pressure is. Let's do that. Slightly low, but that's about where this car should be. Well, just ran out of gas, but 39 PSI, 40 at idle. That's 3 PSI lower than it should be, but it should be okay. Don't think that's my issue. I have an ECU coming. A working one. Fuckers are a lot of money, but I got one coming. And I think that's the issue. But even if it's not, it's nice to have a spare ECU sitting around, because for some reason the ECUs on these cars like to go bad after 40 years. So it's a new one. Got a new ECU here. I really hope it'll work. It's like last resort, man. I don't know what else it'd be. Maybe fuel injectors, but I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I gotta still think about it more, but there, she's in there. New ECU is in. Still doesn't run with the coolant temp sensor plugged in. I couldn't guess it, man. I wouldn't have guessed. Hey, well, at least I got a spare ECU now. you know? So the one thing that I could think of that I haven't looked at are the fuel injectors. And I think that's my issue. They are all filthy. Really, really filthy. So I think the fuel injectors have been my issue a lot of this time. Well, just like, you know, the 20 other issues that I've fixed. This is probably the biggest one. Fuel lines that definitely are going to need to be replaced. And all of these connectors are from 1986 and they just want to break off. Not ideal. Not ideal. We got new fuel injector connectors. And we got new fuel injectors. They're from Cyprus. I always wondered what they did over there. Funny little island. I guess they just make fuel injectors. Yeah, I don't know. The connectors, they fit too, I think. I already checked. I only have one injector I'm just gonna solder right now, but KSM, these brothers, 100% OEM. They fit exactly like the old ones, look the same, everything. And these guys, they're in Cyprus too, which is pretty cool. Got solder, which I'm not very good at doing, but I'm gonna do it. It's not as bad as the fuel pump, and I did that one already. Duct taped it, or electrical taped it, but that was better too. It's still pretty bad. 1 out of 6 done. Well, I guess 2 out of 12, because there's 2 wires. And then I got a fucking. It's 3 out of 6. Well, I guess 6 out of 12, because you know every injector's 2 wires, but we're getting somewhere. It takes a while. And once I get all this done, I'm gonna brake clean all the ports. Try to get. I think there's a little bit of carbon in there. So we'll see what I can do about that. Maybe a little pipe cleaner. That's number 4. Done. I hate wiring so much. New connectors are all soldered. Get a heat gun and put the heat wrap on, but. So I was cleaning out the fuel injector ports with my heat rod and brake clean. A lot of carbon in there. But I dropped something down one of them. Number 2. I don't know what I dropped. Could have just been a piece of dirt, which I wouldn't really be worried about. Or it could be a metal, which is something big to worry about. I don't really want to replace a valve if it is a piece of metal. As you can see, I have them all covered up, but it happened after it. So I might take the fucking intake manifold off and get whatever I got out of there. Which will also tell me if the carbon buildup is bad. I don't really want to, but I guess that's what I'm going to do. It's so fucking cold. So I'm distracting myself from the fact that I gotta take the intake off. I got all the heat wraps on with my heat gun. So that's good. I replaced this fuel line. The fuel line's on the fuel gauge. Red fuel pressure gauge, so got new fuel lines. If you know anything about M30s, the intakes aren't very fun to remove. Better take it off. Get new intake manifold gaskets, you know. Place the starter while I'm at it, because it grinds sometimes when I try to start it. So I removed all the bunch of hoses underneath the manifold. Got all those removed. Got the tank bag out, make it easier. Got those hoses right there removed. I'm just trying to get as easy access as I can to these intake manifold bolts, and I can get 1, 3, 4 top and bottom with an open-ended. But number 6 bottom is it's really difficult because the starter's in the way. And to take off the starter, there's a 17mm bolt like right up there, and you can't get that bolt out without removing the intake manifold. But to remove the intake manifold, it seems you got to remove the starter, and to remove the starter, you got to remove the intake manifold. But to remove the intake manifold, you got to remove the starter. No, but the starter's in the way of me getting to that number 6 thing, even with an open-ended, and I can't get a socket on it because it can't match up right because it's at an angle and manifold gets in the way. So I gotta figure out some really something interesting, because I've done so much shit. All that. I got some swivel joints that didn't work. I mean, that starter board I was talking about, the bottom one you can get to, the top one is right up against the starter. You can't get a socket on it because the nut extends too far into the housing, and the housing gets in the way. So you can't get an extension in a starter right here. You can't do that. You can't get a wrench on it because it's all the way back there. You get a wrench on it, you gotta get the intake manifold off. So It's a remanufactured starter. So somebody's done this before. Just don't know how they did it. I'd like to take back what I said earlier in the video about how great the engineers are, because they designed everything perfect. This intake manifold is a fucking bitch. They could have definitely done a little bit better on the intake manifold. Just saying. I'm not no engineer. But everything else besides this has been pretty easy. This thing is a fucking hog. I fucking got it. I got it. That's gotta be top 3 most retarded nuts I've ever had to figure out. Well, it took me just 3 hours to get 1 out of 12. Yeah, it was number 6 bottom. And I barely broke it loose with that guy. Just barely had enough room. But there's so little room under there that I couldn't, you know, you flip the wrench and you try to get on again. Couldn't do it. Literally wasn't enough room. You hit the intake manifold. So then this guy, 1/4 inch socket, barely, it was half seated, you know, slanted like this. I could have rounded it off, but it was already broken loose with that. I could barely do 1 click turn at a time. Slowly worked it out. I already bought a starter for it, but I'm gonna make sure that it's a smaller starter than the one that's on it, because this is fucking insane. I won't be able to put this manifold back on properly without a smaller starter, so hopefully I can get a smaller one. Yeah, now I just have 10 more or something. I got those easy ones, but we'll see if number 5 is difficult, because number 5 is also next to the starter, so it's really cool. Be able to get my fucking arms in there and look at it at the same time from here. I gotta do some crazy shit, man. Good sleep here. I love the BMW engineers. They're so smart and make things really easy to work on. Oh, I got on it. This is number 5. I broke it free. Might look like I'm struggling, but this is easier than number 6. Number 6, dude, I was in this position for like 10 minutes. My chest is being impaled by something on the intake manifold. They're gay from my car. I'm not. Look, I got a headrest right here. So I started with the back number 6, man. I knew it was gonna be the hardest. And I was right. It took me 2 hours to get that fucker. That one took me 5 minutes, dude. I got them all. I'm gonna try to pull it off, hopefully. I got it. And I have something to show you. I was correct. Cylinder number 2. I did drop something in there. If I neglected that, that probably would destroy that valve. And I'd be doing what I'm doing now anyway, so. And this is the bolt. It's really hard to get to. See, you can't get to it right there. I use this, and I think I got it. I have all the service history, and this thing's never had a head gasket, so it's got 250,000 miles. Head gasket from 1986. That's probably not good. So what I'm saying is, I'm gonna do a head gasket. So might as well just fucking do it right, and it's easy to do it now. So I'm gonna start taking the head off. Which shouldn't be too hard. I already got the intake manifold off. It's out of the way. That's good. My phone died. Surprisingly, I got the manifolds off the head with no issues, which is rare. So every other car I've worked on, they're always rusted. But I got this, whatever you call it, thermostat housing stuff. Got that shit off. BMW, you're a prick. Anyways, so to get that part, to get that bolt off, you gotta get that nut off. And to get that off, you gotta get this off, and yeah, it's really cool. And that guy's, but he's like superhuman tight. I don't know who the fuck put it on last, but I mean, it's ridiculously tight. I can't get it off with a wrench, so it's really cool. The engine looks really clean. I don't know how well you can see it, but that is super clean. I was trying to get the water pump off because I'm gonna do that anyways. I pretty much got everything off to get the head off, really, besides the head bolts. I gotta get the timing chain off, the timing gear. I haven't made a fucking update in a while. This area, if you're buying M30, the water pump, holding this right here, this area. My clutch fan, it won't. My fan won't. It's reverse threaded. I got all the proper tools, and it won't break loose. It's just, oh yeah, and the bottom water pump I broke. You have to pull it off. You gotta take the fan off, but I can't get my fan to break loose. Look at how fucking big these are, and I can't get it to break loose. Holy fucking shit! There you go. The water pump's off. Super easy. Wasn't a struggle at all. Really well designed area right here. I think this water pump was okay, but I'm gonna replace it anyway. I can replace it. I just need, which one broke, I think. Oh yeah, oh yeah. There you go. Gotta get that guy out. That's gonna be super enjoyable. A lot of heat. Hey guys, make sure when you change your water pump, you change your water pump bolts. They tend to get a little rusty. The last guy who did this water pump did that. Wouldn't be here, but you know. Just gonna see how long it's gonna take me to kill myself. Yeah, it's gonna be a bitch. Alrighty, I'm gonna fucking try to get this damn piece of shit out. First, I'm just gonna spray with PB. Try to turn it with a vice grip. Probably ain't gonna work, but might as well try. And then we'll add some heat. And then we'll try to turn it with a vice grip. And if that doesn't work, I'm gonna go to the local bridge and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna try to weld the nut on there. And if that doesn't work, I guess I'm gonna have to drill it out. Alright, so PB and vice grips didn't do it. So I got a torch. I should have a fire extinguisher close by, because very dangerous, you know, fire or something. That ought to do it, brother. Oh, fuck. This ain't looking good. I'll have to weld the nut on there. Alright, since that didn't work, we're gonna try all three of them. We're gonna heat it, PB blast it. Weld the nut onto it. Now, my extension cord just barely gives me enough room to get down there. That's the reason the machine's over there. So I gotta clean it off, gotta find a good nut, gotta weld it on. Got her welded on there, looks decent, I think, hopefully. I'm gonna heat it up. I'm gonna try to break it loose. I mean, it's turning, but it doesn't feel. I think it broke. Fuck. I do have a fire extinguisher with me, by the way. This is why you have one when you do this kind of stuff. Because that could have been a lot worse, you know. Got a little barbecue going. Get some s'mores. Should be pretty toasty. Something's turning. I don't know if it's the right thing, but it's getting really hard. Get this to penetrate deeper. Get some more heat. Maybe get it off all the way. Yep. Now it's not tight anymore. Oh, it doesn't feel right. Might have just broke it. Damn it. Fuck. I wonder if I was getting anything. I think it did come out a little bit. Oh, it's coming. I thought it just broke. It's coming. Well, mine just broke deeper. Dude. We got it. Hey, you just need a fucking torch and weather. No biggie. That's not broken. That was easier than I thought it was gonna be. Usually these are a pain in the ass. I guess last time I had to do this on the Mercedes video, which you can check out. I didn't have a torch. I just had a welder. Yeah, now I gotta go to Ace, because you can't buy one. Like, if you look at water pump over this car, nobody sells them, so you gotta go get one. And I'm gonna take the timing stuff off right there, timing cover, top timing cover, and then get the head ready to pull. So I got cap off and that stuff. I don't know if it has to come off, but I took it off. It might not have to come off. I think it has to come off. I don't know. I got all these loose, so there are top timing covers already come off. Now I'm going to break all these loose. Oh man, that one's tight. She's pretty much ready to come off from what I can tell. She's all ready to come off. I'm not gonna do that right now. That guy should be coming off first, the timing cover, and then I gotta take the timing chain tensioner out, and then it'll be ready to come off. And I gotta take the timing chain off of it, you know. So I got all the outside bolts for the upper timing cover off. Got a little hex bolt in there, I think. And then I should have timing cover off, we'll see. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those spark plugs are fouled and they're brand new.
Oh, yeah.
That's not good. This thing was running really rich, I was right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. This is the back of the cylinder wall. There's a little plate right here. Fuck. But it's all good. The gasket's good. So I still don't know it was leaking head gasket, by the way. It's okay too. Nothing back there broken. Nothing anywhere broken. It's a good head gasket for 250,000 miles. I'm gonna push it anyways. Then this guy, he was fine too. So I don't know where the hell is leaking from.
Do it again. Let me hear. You ready to go?
Alright, this one's good. This one's good. This one got a little bit up and down, but it's good. It's good. Nothing to worry about. The other ones look good, but they all look good. I haven't checked anything for warpage. But you can see the leak is definitely coming from there, as you can see with this stuff. So I don't know. I got all the exhaust studs out. I got new studs coming, new nuts.
You got anything else for us, Brad?
Yeah, man. So
we talked about
here's
that.
the cam plate. The
I guess
cam
so.
wall plate.
Yeah, sure, we can call it that.
5 out of the 6 don't have a washer.
Yeah, and then one does. Fucks up. These are good. There's no exhaust sticks. I don't know why I'm looking at that. But yeah, I think we're all set to go. Nothing too bad. There's not a hole in any of the pistons, which is really good. So I just gotta wait for my new head gasket, clean this all up, check it for warpage. Hopefully it's not warped. If it's warped, we're fucked. Sometimes you get fucked. Got the manifold here, brushing it off, getting it a little shinier, you know. Man, I'm losing it a little bit. Cause I thought these were gaskets, but I don't know. Pretty sure it's metal. I don't think they make metal intake gaskets. So what I'm saying is, where the fuck are the intake gaskets? But like, look at it from this. See, those look like gaskets when you look at it like that. Am I retarded? It's really acting like it's not a gasket. I mean, I prick and pry this thing and it just chips. That's gotta be metal. I mean, look at the way it scratches, man. That's fucking metal. That ain't no paper gasket. I don't know, I'm kind of worried, because what if these are the gaskets and I don't pick them off and then I put it back on the car and it's all fucked up? Here it is on the head. I don't got it on, I just got it, you know, on. Man, I don't know, man, because kind of, you see that? It kind of looks like there's a gasket. You know, kind of looks like there's 2 gaskets there. It's got to be the fucking stupidest thing in the world. Right now I got it in the beautiful sunlight. I mean, I took a metal brush, and I mean, that's scratching like it's metal. It feels like metal. It scratches like metal. It shines like metal. Man, you take it from the side here. What the hell is going on there, dude? Because I feel like I'm losing my mind. Like, so I took some heat to it just to see if it's metal or not. I still don't know. I think it's not. See that little chip? I can't touch it. It's pretty hot right there. See that little chip? I feel really retarded. See that? You see how it steps up kind of, you know? These are the most solidified intake gaskets I've ever seen. So as you can see there, these are gaskets. Believe it or not. Not going crazy. Dude. I don't know why these gotta be from 1986. These are insane, dude. They're really, really hard to get off. I've never seen gaskets this fucking old. These things are so fucking solidified. It's breaking my fucking scraper, man. Got her off. Paper. This is a paper gasket. I don't know, maybe it's got like a very thin sheet of metal right here. Doesn't feel like paper, doesn't look like paper, doesn't scratch like paper, but it is paper. It's got 6 more. It's really cool, breaking all my tools. Oh man, I got him loose. These gotta be the most solidified gaskets I've ever seen. It's crazy because they're not even really the right ones. But it's interesting because if you just put it on there like that, you would think that I just cleaned off this one. Those are the dirty ones. Oh yeah, that one's clean. No, this gasket, dumbass. It's all clean. Can't really get much more off without scratching it too much, so don't call that good. Got the manifold on there. It's got a bunch of little paper parts in there from the gasket, but I think it'll lead on that. I ordered a head gasket like a week ago, and they still haven't shipped it. Really isn't cool. So now I'm taking that fucking behemoth of a starter out here, and that bolt back there, even with the intake off and the head off and everything, still a pain in the ass. You still need a real special wrench. Turns out BMW gave you a special wrench. It came with the car. This fucker. This fucker. Beautiful. Got her out of there. So this is why I need the special tool. BMW gives you a normal 17. It's bent. That 17 is straight. When it's bent, you can't get in there where this bolt sits. Gotta have it to be straight. I'm lucky enough that my toolkit's all intact. Because if it wasn't, I'd have to heat that up and straighten it out. But I didn't have to do that, so that's good. That son of a bitch is so fucking tight, man. I can't get it. So I got this ratchet strap set up here. We're gonna see what happens. Hope I don't bend my hood in. It'll be really bad. Oh, man, it's bending the fucking hood in. Okay, well that's alright, because now, you know, we got some tension on the hood here. Now I'll give it a try. Hopefully I don't lose an arm or something. I don't know what's gonna happen. Both hands on it and everything. Oh my gosh. Alright. Now that my elbow fucking hurts really bad, we got it broken loose. Thank you, ratchet strap. That was pretty much all because of the ratchet strap. That gave it enough tension. Fuck this fucking thing, man. Now, I don't know if I got it on video or not, but every now and then when I try to start it, it would grind. It's usually because the starter and the flywheel don't really like each other. I'm looking at these right now and they don't look too bad, but I was looking at the flywheel. The flywheel doesn't look too bad either, but it's definitely got some shiny bits on it, you know? I don't know what that's about. So I'm just gonna put, I got an upgraded starter. It's a different starter than that one, but it fits. And it's a slimmer body. So this bolt, that big old body on that one over there, you couldn't get a bolt with a socket on this. You couldn't get a socket on this bolt here. With my new starter, you can't, because it's real skinny. Let's make this job a lot easier. You don't have to take off the intake manifold if I have to place it in the future. And it should be more powerful, and it's also lighter. Here's a starter, I'll show it. There you go, man. So you can get a socket right there and right there. This one, you can't. so hope it fits and works. Clean it up a little bit because I test fitted it. And man, that thing is so shiny that it just makes all this look like junk. So I'm just brushing it up a little bit, man. Found that, man. 3.5. Technically incorrect. This should be a 3.4. Don't tell anybody. There's my, I think that's my block number. Hopefully that's readable. 41263781. I think so. That's cool to know. Just wanted to show how much of a game changer this is. So there it is, by the way. But look at that, man. That's freaking good. And if you get longer extension, you can do it with the intake manifold on, man. That's so much easier, man. Gosh. We can get on the bottom one too, dude. This is amazing. Very big upgrade, man. And I didn't even mention this part. Remember the fucking me laying on the car to get the lower intake manifold bolts off? That's because the body of the old one was fucking massive. Low, and you can't fit your wrench on. You can't fit your wrench in there as easy because the body, you know, it sticks it out a little bit. Makes it really hard to get the lower ones off. But with this slimmer body, intake manifold's easier to put on and come off as well. So here I am doing whatever that fucking thing is. I still don't know what's leaking. I assume it's this. I don't know. But I got this new gasket. It looks like a duck or something. It's pretty funny. This car's fucking weird, man. I feel like it's really unnecessary, but you know. Resealed both of those. So hopefully if the leak was coming from there, it won't be coming from there anymore. I think my house is burning down here, smoke alarms. Anyways, so you gotta torque all the intake manifold bolts down, torque all those down. Put the fuel rail back on with my new fuel injectors. Exhaust manifold studs. Got a new one of those, gotta put those on. Which I ordered nuts and studs, and they don't work together. Classic. I gotta go to fucking Ace Hardware, get new water pump bolts, get a TPS bolt, because one of them was missing over there. And then I lost a water pump pulley bolt, of course. So I gotta get all those bolts. That's a lot of bolts. And while I'm doing all that, and while I'm waiting on everything, I got some new wheels. Not gonna tell you what they are, you gotta wait to see them, but they're some cool wheels, man. I'm gonna get those and new tires. I have new wheels, new tires. They're bigger tires, which might fuck something up, but these are 205s. The ones I'm getting are 225s, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It might be though. Old stuff, new stuff. It's pretty neat. I got these hoses back on here, which is cool. I think I got it set it up all right. Discovered one little issue with my plan to put the intake manifold back on with the head. The harness, as you can see, this bin back here requires that you put the head on first and then the intake manifold, because that guy back there goes right there where that little notch is. But I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to put the fucking intake manifold back on, the head back on. So all this right here, the thing that has to do that, alternator, that guy, starter wires. So I'm just gonna take all those off, and then I can feed it how I want it. I should be able to, hopefully. But I got these guys set up and they're all ready to go, which is great. All new hoses. Got my fuel rail here. Got all the old injectors out. Got my new injector here. I'm gonna put them on the fuel rail. Hopefully put the fuel rail on the intake manifold, and then replace the fuel line from the cold start valve to this nozzle. And then we'll have that all ready to go. Here we got our beautiful 6 new injectors for a 6-cylinder BMW. Look at that. Oh yeah. That's pretty hot. They're all in there. All 6 of them, man. Can you believe that? I think I put the fuel rail on the right way. Got my sketchy workplace set up here, but all the intake bolts are torqued. Definitely to spec. I totally torqued them to spec. You know, torqued them past spec, but should be fine. I checked that warpage on the block, so I got it covered, but it's 0.006. This way it was only 0.002. I'm gonna act like I didn't do that. We're just gonna put it back on the car. I haven't checked the head. I'm not going to check the head. I'm just gonna put it back on the car. Got the intake manifold basically ready to go from what I think. Thinking. I felt like it was heavy without the intake manifold on there. Now it's got the intake manifold on there. Sucker is, yeah, it's gonna weigh a lot. So I got new exhaust studs, exhaust manifold studs, exhaust manifold nuts. At least I thought. Here are the nuts. You see that, man? That's a fucking oval. I don't know what the fuck that means. They don't fit the studs. They don't fit. The new nuts don't fit the new studs. But the old nuts fit the new studs. So I guess I'm just getting new studs. How does an oval nut work? Is there an oval stud? This doesn't make sense because it's got to turn. Whew. All right. Got 11 out of 12 of them. And the studs. Double nut method. That's a term that could be used in many places. Anyways, these nuts are kind of rusted. So, the old nuts are, and the new ones are weird, so they don't fit. I left this one out so I can get some nuts that work. Hopefully Ace got some. They probably don't, but hopefully I'll find some on the internet if they don't. But yeah, studs are in, most of them, so that's good. Sitting here thinking, I think she's ready to go on. But yeah, that's good. I got them studs in. That took a while. I was just doing the stuff. Guess what's in there? Can you tell by how long it is? You think there's a head gasket in there? I don't know. Got damaged though. That's not good. It's like Christmas time, man. I ain't been around before, man. I got exhaust manifold gaskets. Did they zip tie for me? Wow, that kind of makes it a little bit. Oh. That box opened on shipping. You can see I got some head bolts. Why is this box jingling? I don't think they're supposed to jingle in their package, but the package open. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's hot. Oh, there's my name, by the way. That's my last name. Just kidding. I'm gonna block it out. Gives me all the Zylinder cops. Dude, right on, man. I mean, I'm really curious how old that one is. I don't know. Could be the original. I don't know. It's at least 145,000 miles because I have service history from 100,000 miles and forwards, and they never did one. So, and I really doubt this car had one done at 90,000 miles or something, but maybe. But I'm willing to bet it's the original head gasket. It's crazy.
I got my pussy out here. My pussy cat here.
Got the new bolts. Shout out Ace Hardware, man. Got all new 7 water pump bolts. New nuts for exhaust studs. New screw to hold the TPS mounting screw. New water pump pulley. We got all the bolts, man. They're cheap too, man. It's like whole thing's like $10 or something. Maybe that's a little much, I don't know. But I'm getting ready, man. I'm gonna clean the head off. I don't got the hood open yet, but I'm gonna clean the mating surface off both sides. So it's getting ready to get put back on. So I cleaned it off. Mostly as good as I could. Glue gun, scraper, toilet paper, brushes, scrapes, pretty good. Gotta do the head too. And then I got most of the harness ready to go. There's one guy that has to go. This has to ride above the harness, and there's one guy that has to go under the harness. So everything that's connects under, I had to take off, which I already done. It was starter, alternator, a few other things. So that's mostly ready to go. I can push it out of the way enough to put the intake manifold back on and still be able to bring it over because it has to sit on top of it. So I think we're pretty much ready to put the damn head on here. The time has come. I'm about to try to put this whole thing on by myself. It could go badly. My back already hurts from getting it right here. It's aluminum head though. I might be able to do it. I'm gonna get in the engine bay and try to do it safely as possible. Hopefully I don't hurt anything. It's really stupid. As you can see, it's already pretty sketchy. just seated. Yeah, that's how you put a M30 head on with an intake manifold by yourself. Do not do that. Super easy. My back feels good. Back feels really, I mean, it's there. You know, it's on there. See, I disconnected everything from the harness, so if you give me a sec, I can put it where it needs to be, but I'm gonna look over everything and make sure nothing's fucked up. Because that was a little bit violent. I don't think you guys could see very well, but it was, so from what I can tell so far, we're good. Everything's in the right spot, I think. I'll probably find something here soon that's a little bit fucked up, but we'll see. The worst thing that could have happened is there's two valves that were open all the way that were stuck out below the bottom, and I could have bent one of those. I don't think I did. I was pretty easy on it. Well, as easy as I could have been. Valves tend to be kind of strong, so it should be fine. I'll know if I lose compression in two of my cylinders, though, so we'll know. A little bit of an update, man. We're moving pretty quick here. We got all the head bolts in. Torque sequence 1 is done. It's about 44 foot-pounds. Use thread seal on all of them. But I'm trying to time it all, so to time it properly with my massive fucking airplane mechanic tools, this fucking massive guy, I had to take the radiator out to get on the crank hub. So I did that. Timed up right there. Got to get this guy timed up, and I can put all that back on, put the radiator on, and she'll be timed. Sequence 1 will be done, and I can do sequence 2. All right, so we had a little bit of a mishap happen. I turned the engine over by starter without it timed. Yeah, not very good. Miraculously, the valves are fine. It would have been only these two, and they look undamaged. So we're safe. We took it off again just to make sure, you know. Make sure I didn't, because if I did bend a valve, they'd be really bad, and they're not bent. So I guess I got lucky. Stupid mistake, but you know.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. I'm gonna leave him over there struggling to keep that head up. They did meet though, right there. Yep. Yeah, they did meet right there. All right, so from the eye, none of them are bent. I think. I did a shitty leak down test with some air and stuff, and I don't think any of them are bent. That's the worst one. I think there's a normal amount of piston slap in here. I can't get it. There it is. It's not too much, I don't think. So I think we're okay. It's a good thing I checked, because if they were bent, you know, that would have been bad if I put everything back together. Probably a little bit funny from your end. But yeah, we're gonna put it back on. I got a guy to help me too. So that's
It happens.
because for them to really get bent, you need combustion to force that cylinder up. We didn't have that, so that's good. So I think we're okay. We got everything back on. Torque sequence 1 is done. Got it timed properly this time. I'm pretty sure. I'll carefully test. Got some of the little stuff plugged back in, like the alternator starter wiring. Fuel lines are back on. Throttles, a little bit of other wiring stuff. So we're getting there. Mostly. Got a few more things. I hope everything's okay. It should be. They still could be bent, but they're not super bent. They're not visibly bent, so that's good at least. So I'm currently trying to separate my fan from my pulley and everything, because it turns out whoever did the last fan clutch really wanted it to be tight, and they succeeded. I know it's reverse thread, and I got the pulley squeezed, and I'm gonna see if I can round it off here, because it's probably so fucking tight that it won't come off anymore. There you go. That's all I need to do. You just need to whack the shit out of it with a fucking foot-long wrench, and you got it. Just so you know, guys, you don't gotta tighten it that much. New water pump installed. Got this guy on there. Got the pulley on there, man. I'm pretty sure every single one of these is stripped, but that's fine. I got it somewhat tight. I can't tighten it to spec because they all just keep turning. I didn't do that. It's just how it is. But I don't think it'll leak. I don't think it's too bad. It still is tight enough. I think it's really on there good, so that's good. I made sure to not tighten the shit out of this because that was really tight before. I think whoever last did work on this thing stripped every single one of these. Almost stripped those because those were insanely tight as well. And also the fan, whoever did this last, go fuck yourself. Because you really, really fucked me over on literally everything here, including these, and, you know, just to add to the list of the stripped bolts, add all 4 of the water pump pulley bolts as well. Yeah, really cool. I think it'll still tight enough to stay on. But, you know, if I'm going down the road someday and my fan just comes flying off because the bolt comes up, it's another day, another dollar, I guess. Ugga dugga dugga. This is my pointer, ugga dugga. We got the headers on with the new gaskets. A little bit of a bitch, but I got them on, got them tight. So we're making some ground here. Got the timing chain tensioner on too. Upper timing chain cover installed. Torqued. This guy, you know, the funny guy. Installed. Torqued. Man, I got a really bad reputation when it comes to hex bolts, you know. Well, if you can't tell, I probably have a really bad reputation when it comes to working on vehicles. Oh, I was tightening there, rounding off. Thought I checked it was the right size. I guess I was one size too small. It's tight. Not too tight. It's only like 8 foot-pounds, so I can get them out one day if I have to. But I think they're all tight enough that I can send it as it is. We're getting really close here. Not a lot of stuff to do. Ooga booga booga. Done a lot of things. Can't remember everything I've done, but I've done a lot of little stuff, and they, you know, got all the intake back on. Technically, it would run right now. I am gonna put the radiator back in and everything. Pretty much everything is back together. Pretty cool. I think everything's back together. I'm about to fire up here, and yeah, hopefully it's not like toasted or something. That'd be bad. Quite a gallop. Quite a gallop in that starter. That's not good. That's really not good. That was quite a gallop, yeah. Anyways, I'm just going to ignore that, and it runs. But, I mean, that sounds like quite a gallop, which is really, really bad. If you know what that means, that's, yeah. Hopefully that'll just, you know, it'll go away. I'm going to start crying. Anyways. It's not looking good. I think I'm just burning some stuff off, but I don't know if you can hear that. It doesn't sound good at all. I mean, you can hear it. And yeah, guess what? It still has the same issue it had before with the coolant temp sensor and everything. I have it unplugged right now, so it'll actually idle. So fuel injectors were not the issue, and it still has the throttle issue where it doesn't take throttle. I think I did bang something up with the valves because it's not running quite the same. It has a gallop in the starter, so I just 30 to 45 degrees more on all them head bolts like you're supposed to with the engine warm. That's all done. That's good. I don't think it was making all that clattering noise before, so don't have high hopes is what I'm saying. All right, don't. I am gonna put some stuff back together and run the forbidden compression test to see if I dead bend any valves, which I won't be surprised if I did. Compression was good before, I could just tell when I drove it last time. I did a pull, and compression was really good. It felt like it had full compression. So if now I have no compression, it's because I bent a valve, which yeah. Here goes cylinder number 1. 100? Okay. I've seen a lot worse. The spec that it should be is 150 to 180. But 100 will be fine. There's people who have like 100 should be fine, but if I get any less than that, that's an issue. Alrighty, I've tested 1, 2, 3, and 4. As you guys know, 100 psi there. Number 2, take a guess. 105. Number 3, take a guess. 100. Number 4, take a guess. 105. Still gotta do 5 and 6, which I'm gonna do right now. That's to be expected from a 250,000 engine that was built in the 80s. But considering that's good. You know, that's some good PSI. So I can tell you from the sound there, that cylinder has no compression. That's really bad. That means I bent a valve on that cylinder. See, I told you something was wrong with that gallop. I knew something was wrong. I just threaded it back in, second time. Still no compression. So that's not good. I'm pretty sure that was me. I feel like it had full compression before I did all that. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it did. So I assume I bent one of the valves. So what I'm gonna do now, if you want to replace that properly, I'm gonna have to take the head off again. So just take the spark plug out, disconnect the number 5 injector, and just drive it. And it'll run really rough, but it'll drive. I feel like to get 0 compression, that's not rings, that's a valve issue, so it's definitely bent. If you watch my Mercedes video, that car had no compression on any of the cylinders because I'm gonna guess some point in its life the timing chain came off or something. Because nothing. That engine was fucked. So at least with this one, I got 5 out of 6 cylinders. You know, what score is that on a test? 70% or something? I don't know. I failed math class twice in high school. You know, 5 out of 6. That's better than 0 out of 6. Still not good. Still is gonna run like shit. Still runs like shit. Still has the same issue that it did before, even with new injectors, new exhaust manifolds, new intake manifolds or gaskets. Which that isn't really cool. So I'm assuming that issue is either a TPS or the cat's clogged, or there's a short somewhere in the wiring that's fucking up the AFR. It still runs really rich. I can tell by the smell. Here's all the spark plugs. I already knew they were toast because of when I took them off and looked at them in the head, they were all black. These are brand new, by the way. Yeah, I was right. I did bend a valve. I'm gonna test number 6 now. Hopefully number 6 okay. Because if I just turn this into a 4-cylinder, that's gonna be really bad. Good news? I haven't looked yet, but I can tell by the sound it's good. There you go. Oh wow, it's 110. That's the highest one yet. Number 6, 110. Nice. So yeah, got a 5-cylinder BMW. Pretty rare. The only 5 cylinders they made were diesels, if they made one at all. See, I'm an inventor. I just made the first BMW 5-cylinder gasoline engine. Pretty cool. No, but I gotta look at my options here, because I don't want to take it all back off again, because if I do that, I have to buy another head gasket. And of course, it'd take me a long time to undo everything that I just put back on. Yeah, so I might just put it back together and just drive it like it is. But I gotta think about it, you know. So I'm about to do something pretty entertaining and start it up without number 5 spark plug in. I don't know if you can tell, but that's really loud. So, for the sake of my neighbors, I can't run it for too long like that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to put the plug back in. So if you can't tell, I'm driving it right now. I mean, it does drive. I don't know if you can hear it, but it does not drive well. 5 out of 6. We need 6 out of 6.
My exhaust is about to fall off. I have a running and driving 535 E28 though. It might have a bent valve, but it still runs and drives. I'm gonna try to do a pull up here and see what happens. I don't think it's gonna do very good though. Oh. It stumbled its way up to 5,500 RPM. We're getting a little toasty. Hope that's nothing to worry about. Let me go ahead and shut her off while I cruise a little bit. Pretty close to my house, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I got an electric car basically. That's how quiet it is. I think something's wrong. She's running really bad. So this is the part where you go and plug the coolant temp sensor back in. I'm in the middle of an intersection, by the way. So yeah, once she gets warm and dies, then you plug the coolant temp sensor back in, and then she'll run. It's showing a lot better too. I just did a proper pull, and I mean it pulled.
Just died trying to get on my driveway. Pulls really good with it plugged in, but it doesn't idle, you see? So you get your trade-off. It's not supposed to do that. And you're running only 5 out of 6. It pulled really good for 5 out of 6. So yeah, I figured out that once it gets hot, or you know, past this way a little bit, it'll run like shit and it'll die with the CTS unplugged. Then you have to go plug it in. Once you plug it in, it'll be good. And then it'll run good. It probably cleans up the AFR somehow. But then it won't idle, which is why I'm sideways in my driveway right now. Because it's flooded and I gotta let it cool off. And then once it cools off, I can unplug the CTS. It'll idle and it'll run better at low RPM. But then once it gets too hot again, you get it. And we're running only 5 out of 6 cylinders. This car is really solid. Struggled a lot on my driveway. Stalled about 6 times because the engine doesn't like to run, especially not off of idle. It technically would get you to where you need to go. You just, once it gets hot enough, it would die. You have to get out of your car, pop the hood, plug the CTS in, and then it would run. It wouldn't idle though, so you couldn't idle it. When you had a stop sign or something, you'd have to just let it die. And then once you're ready to go, once the light turns green or whatever, you have to turn it back on. Make sure you give it the perfect amount of gas, because if you give it too much gas, it'll actually die again. But if you give it just the right amount of gas, then you can take off. So technically it does run and drive. But yeah, that problem was still a problem before I lost one of my cylinders. It did that same thing before I did all that work, so that still isn't solved. This car is insane. But the valve clatter goes away a little bit when it's warm. Alrighty, so I thought about it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to fix this other problem first. This the cold start related throttle idling heat, you know, the one I've been struggling with. I'm gonna try to fix that. If I can fix that, which I think I can, I'm thinking it's the cat. I'm thinking the cat's clogged up. Once I fix that, I'm probably going to take it all off again and I'll replace the valve. Which if I do that, I'm not going to show all that. I'll just show the replacing the valve, so don't worry about that. But I think I'm going to look at the cat real quick, because I think the cat might be clogged. I don't know if I mentioned if I was going to do this in the last clip, but I just adjusted all the valves. It's pretty cool. They're all pretty close, so I don't think those were the issue. But yeah, I was thinking, you know, if they're really out of whack, that might cause my issue, but they're not. They're all pretty close, and I still adjusted all of them perfectly. I'm gonna go ahead and cut a little peephole right before the cat, and we'll look into the cat and see if it's clogged. Which, if it's not clogged, I'll just weld my little peephole back up, so that'll be okay. It's pretty crazy. This is the first time this car's been in a garage. But yeah, I got it in here, got it on some ramps, so I can actually look under this thing. I've never been under there before. But I'm also gonna do what I said I was gonna do earlier. So I decided that cutting a hole in it would be a little bit too much work, so I just took the part of the exhaust out. And haven't looked in there yet. Don't see, well, hold on, I'm not gonna spoil it. I don't know yet. I don't know either. Oh, she's fine. I think so. Is that clogged? I don't think so. No, right? That's good. I mean, now I'm bamboozled, man. I was thinking this cat was bad. I don't know now. It shouldn't be too loud. It still has a big old cat, so we'll be okay. But what in the fuck is causing this shit? All right, so now I'm at the front of the cat. Took the O2 sensor out. You can't really see much, but if it runs better, and the cat's clogged, because now the gas can get out of there a little bit and it'll run better, but I doubt that's my issue, because the back looked all right, so I think we're okay, but we'll find out here in a sec. Hopefully it's not too loud. So far it has not fixed my issue. It's not that loud. It's a little loud. It's a little loud. Oh, there we go. Oh shit, now I don't know. I was really thinking it was a valve adjustment issue or a cat issue. Now I don't know what issue it is, because now it's not either of those. So I was thinking, I'm starting to think that maybe my throttle plate ain't adjusted right. Maybe it's closed up too much or something, because regardless of what I've got going on with that guy, when I first hit the throttle, the engine always stumbles. It's like, whoa, what are we doing? You know? So maybe that throttle plate is too closed, or maybe something's going on there. So I'm gonna see. So there's a good chance that I'm looking at this. This might solve part of my issue. I already tightened it up, but as you can see, that little hole there, it was on the top part, all the way to the top before. Now it's at the bottom. So now when it's at the bottom, this guy has a little bit more of a gap. There's a little, very small amount of air that can get past the butterfly now. And this guy is, he was always mounted a little weird, I noticed, this fella here. So this might solve part of the issue. Alright, so that wasn't my issue at all. So I'm currently playing with the AFM because I'm a little bit bored. And I found something here. Might be hard to tell from the video, but it really binds up about right here. Little problem that all leads to a big problem. Just like everything else on this car. Turn this wheel. If you didn't know, this thing can be turned. Technically not supposed to, but I wasn't supposed to be born, so guess I got the ability to do anything now. So if I turn this, I think if I turn it clockwise, it leans it out, I think. No, Richens. I don't remember. You can look it up. But yeah, you can basically change the way the whole damn car runs with this thing. Yeah, I gotta figure out why this thing's binding up. I don't know exactly where it is, but I gotta... So I fixed the binding problem. That's good. It's smooth now. Very good. I just needed some carb cleaner, had a little bit of gunk. So now I gotta really think hard about my vehicle here, because it's supposed to run with the coolant temp sensor plugged in, of course, and it's a brand new coolant temp sensor, okay? And I tested the ohms, and it's good. With it unplugged, it runs really rich. Just, that's how the ECU does things, you know? So it's running super rich when it's unplugged. That's why it dies once it gets warm. Because as engines warm up, they gotta lean out a little bit. Because the air coming in gets hot, of course, which makes the air less dense. Fucking super crazy science stuff. So that's why it stumbles eventually. And then once that happens, you actually plug the coolant temp sensor back in, and then it'll run with that in, but it won't idle. So that makes me think maybe it's running too lean with the coolant temp sensor plugged in. Now, but the problem with that one is that with the coolant temp sensor plugged in when it's cold, at any time, it never wants to idle, but it takes throttle really well. But with it not plugged in, it doesn't take throttle, but it will idle. And I think that's because with it unplugged, it'll take throttle. It won't take throttle because it's already so rich that when you add more fuel to it, it can't handle it. It's already so rich, which makes me think that maybe the reason why it won't idle when it's plugged in is because it's too lean. So what I'm saying is I'm going to richen this thing up by turning the wheel, and we're going to see what happens there. Now, another interesting thing was, this is going to blow your mind. I was looking at some pictures and videos that I put in this video of when I first took the head off, when I very first took it off. So this was before I supposedly bent the valves, or one of the valves. And there was an indent in the piston. It's very clear on number 1. This was before I did all that stuff. And if you go to number 5, which I only have a blurry picture of, there's no indent at all on the piston, which is confusing because I thought I just bent number 5. Some very smart individuals who have made videos about these kind of things. They got some crazy stuff. It's very clean in here, so I'm not even going to touch the surface. I think I'll richen it up. Alright, I just adjusted it 8 clicks counterclockwise, which means I just made it a fuck ton richer. Probably too rich, but we're gonna see. I was seeing rumors, man, that these cars from factory were tuned for the 80s fuel, so like, and fuel was different back then or something, so they leaned every car was supposed to be supposedly from factory is too lean. I don't know, man. I think it's the first time this thing's ever been opened. It was really hard to get these caps off, but we're just gonna see what it is. I marked where I was before, so I can always put it back. And I can go the other way if I want to try to do that. But this could just be a band-aid problem to a massive issue, which is probably a bent valve. Yeah, we'll see what this does. I can already tell by the spring. You see how that little spring down there moves? That's moving a lot less than it did. I'm gonna put it back on, see how it does. It's probably gonna run like shit. I don't think this is the right thing to do, but whatever. Got her on there. Should be running richer for sure. Don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but it's gonna do something, so we're about to see. But it shouldn't run at all with that unplugged. It'll be way too rich, but we'll find out. So here we go. We'll see what happens. I don't have high hopes, just let you know.
That's it. There you have it. I can't believe that. This entire time, the issue was the AFM. Son of a bitch. Are you kidding me? That's been my issue. This whole time has been the AFM is out of adjustment. Motherfucker. Yeah, the AFM was adjusted way too lean. That's why. That's why I ran with the coolant temp sensor unplugged, because it would richen the engine up, but it richen it up too much. I can't believe this. How long have I spent trying to hunt this down? Well, in real life, it's been months. So that's that answer. It revs great. Well, for having a cylinder that has no compression, it revs good. To be fair, I mean, I guess it's not the craziest thing that would cause that. It's just usually people advise you to never adjust those because they're set from factory. So you're technically not supposed to touch them, but yeah, I touched mine and it fixed all of my issues just now. You gotta be kidding me, man. That's fucking crazy. Well, hey, at least I fixed it, right? Maybe now, you know, I still have a bent valve that I have to fix, or something's going on with number 5. I assume it's a bent valve, but yeah. I'm very confident that this thing would drive fine now. Besides the number 5 cylinder having a bent valve, but other than that, I think it'd drive fine. So, I mean, I'm just in disbelief that it took me this long to figure it out, and that it just fixed it just like that, a little AFM adjustment. It's probably a little bit too rich. I did 8 clicks, which I don't know how much each click really is, but at least I figured it out, and at least it wasn't like a weird electrical short in the harness somewhere.
So I guess what was going on was with the coolant temp sensor plugged in, the car was running so lean. When it tried to idle, it literally couldn't. It didn't have enough fuel to idle. And the only way that it would run is if you gave it throttle, which of course would add more air, but it also add more fuel. So I guess it kind of made sense that it would run like that. And that makes sense because obviously with the coolant temp sensor unplugged, the ECU defaults to max cold, max fuel, which is why as it warmed up, it would die. And then you'd have to plug it back in, but then it wouldn't idle because it's too lean now. Fucking AFMs, man. These fancy little fucking computers, man. I can't. Yeah, now I gotta take it all back apart. I don't give a fuck if it's on 5 out of 6. I'm driving this fucking car, man. I've done too much shit. That might fuck something else too, though. I gotta think about that. Alright, about to drive it. You can definitely hear the misfire. Or the mess completely. Shakes the car a little bit. And the setup's a little funny down there because 3 out of 6 of the cylinders have a resonator, and 3 of them don't. It's kind of funny. I might run out of gas. This is the best this car's ever drove. You can definitely hear the misfire a little bit. But I mean, it's driving good. It's awesome, man. If only I didn't bend the valve, dude. Gosh dang it. I gotta take it back apart again and replace the valve. This thing's honestly not that slow, even on 5 out of 6 cylinders. It's pretty good. Dude, it's not that slow, even missing a cylinder. This thing drives good for 5 out of 6 cylinders. Idling at 600 right now. Yeah. I've thought about it a little bit and don't think I'm going to drive it anymore. I would love to drive the car, and I've been working on it for a long time. Finally got it to drive good enough, but with a bent valve, the more you drive it, the more it's going to hammer on the seat, you know, the head seat where the valve hits. And it's bent, so it's going to wear it really quickly. So I probably shouldn't drive it, which sucks because it's fun. Even missing a cylinder, man, it's fun. That means I better start taking that off again. Hopefully my dumb ass can figure out how to change a valve. You know, I fucked up a head gasket, so I could definitely fuck up a valve replacement. I don't want to bore you guys with seeing everything I've already done. The next clip will be me with this head off, hopefully. Same day, shit you not. Same afternoon. Took me about 2.5 hours. Head gasket looks okay. This engine is still warm from when I drove it. There's some, it's burning off the carbon. Probably because I was driving it pretty hard. But yeah, here's the head. And this time I took the intake manifold off of it. And it's a lot easier to do with that little starter, that's for sure. I just looked back at the last video, and it took me exactly 1 hour and 58 minutes to take this head off. Running and driving, 1:58. That's pretty fucking fast. But yeah, it goes a lot quicker when you've done it 3 times in the past 2 weeks. Anyways, I'm gonna flip this thing over or something, and if I put the valve cover on and flip it over, look at my spring. It should be, or these two should be bent. If they aren't bent, it's kind of worrying. Yeah. Number 5 here. Surface itself isn't bent, at least on that one. I don't think on that one either, but well, no. Usually, I think sometimes it's the stem that breaks, the skinny part down there. So I gotta flip this thing over, do a leak down test, see which one it is. And then I'm also gonna do that on a few of the others. I'll flip this thing over. Exhaust port is closed right now. Put some water in the exhaust port. See if it leaks, because I don't think it's bent. I think if it flings is bent, it's the intake, which the intake's open right now, so. Yeah, but yeah, you'd think the hole would be really big because it has zero compression. Yeah, it's also starting to rain. It's getting dark and it's getting cold. But number 5 here. Well, exhaust valve definitely leaks. Let me see which one's closed here. Exhaust valve is at least part of the issue. Exhaust valve is bent, number 5. Hopefully that's the only one that's bent, because, you know, if you're gonna drive around with a bent valve, you want it to be the exhaust valve. You don't want it to be the intake valve. That'd really scoot things up. I'm gonna turn this thing over somehow and then test the intake. Hopefully they're not both bent. All right, got number 5, 2 compression stroke here. Both valves are fully shut. Well, should be. I don't think so. I hope you can see it right now, but I don't think it's leaking out the intake. I think it bent the exhaust valve. I can see the light right now through the exhaust valve. The flashlight on my phone is on, and I'm looking at the exhaust valve. I can see the light, so that's probably big enough to lose compression, which is crazy because it's not a very big hole, but yeah, you see that? You can barely see it. That's leaking right there. Zero compression is right there from this valve. That's fucking nuts. It's insane. So that's good. Just the exhaust valve is bent. Very nice. It'd really suck if they were both bent, you know. So I gotta really research how to replace it properly, because I'm gonna try to do it myself. Might be a bad idea. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. You know what I might do is just bend it back. No, it's getting cold. It's raining. As you can see, my driveway's ruined. My clothes are ruined. BMW maintenance, you know. They told me BMWs would be unreliable. I didn't know I have to take my head off every week. Yeah, I mean, it's been 2 weeks. This thing's been off 3 different times. Welcome to BMW. Probably got to get a new head gasket. It's not right to reuse them. But hold on, what is that? You see this right here? See that damage? That's not good. Maybe I damaged it and I didn't realize. Try not to damage the next one. I'm currently working on trying to get this here valve ready to come out. And originally, I was going to take the whole rocker shaft out. Rocker arm shaft. Something of the sort. So what I did was, I took the clip out of this guy, which is the rocker on the other side. This is intake side, is exhaust. And that made me able to get him all the way over here. Which is good, because I got to get this guy. I got to get this guy as much to the left as possible. And I took out the nut, or the bolt and the nut for the eccentric there, which gives me, I think, enough room to get that valve out. And then therefore, I only have to touch the rocker shaft, which is good, because when you have to touch the rocker shaft, you got to take each clip out of this. And then, of course, you got, in theory, take the threads out, the caps or something, which mine aren't even Allen keyed, so I don't know how you're supposed to do that. But, and then you beat it out, which you can fuck things up when you do that. So if I can do it this way, that'd be great. So here's my fancy tool I just got here. All it is, of course, is a tube. But that guy's magnetic when you whack it with a hammer on the valve. The keeper or whatever comes off and it gets sucked into here so you don't lose it. So part of the keeper, like one of them got out and I got it out and the other one's in there. Well, it's fucking dickhead, man. This valve's a dick. Maybe because it's bent. Yeah, man, that might have something to do with it. So I got one keeper out, but the other one doesn't want to come. What it does, I just got to hit it really, really hard. I might be damaging this fucking tool. That's not loose. Oh, it is loose. Kinda. It's not how it's supposed to come out. It's supposed to come out in a little bit more of a uniform manner. It's supposed to come out like, properly. You know, I guess it's out. So this valve's probably gonna, yep. Oh, thank God. I saw where it went. There it is. All right, there you go. Here's my valve spring. Super professional removal. I don't know where the cap went. Here you go. Believe it or not, this thing's bent. Yeah, there we go, man. Valve rod removal, professionally done. Found it. So I got her flipped over here. And the seat feels okay. I don't know. I'm not an expert. It's there. That's good. I think the whole thing is turned. Yeah. Like it's bent like right there. And the whole thing is like turned a little bit. Yeah. You clean it up a little bit better too. Alright, cleaned it off a little bit. Not all the way. But checking for warpage here. Check this way. We're all good. Nothing there, I don't think. Usually it's this way. And it is, of course. Not surprised. It is warped. Just a little bit. Not too bad. This is the worst spot I can find. It's right here. This is how long my straight-edged guy is here. And yeah, take a guess at what thousandths of an inch this is here. 0.004. So, not too bad. I've ran heads that are 0.005 without getting them machined, and they're fine. So I don't think that's the worst spot. Is like these two. They're about 0.004. Everywhere else is a 0.003 or not as bad. So I think we're fine there. I'm gonna guess I'll check up like this way and that way, but yeah, so she should be fine. Cleaning up. I've put heads back on without cleaning them up at all, and they've been fine. You are supposed to clean them up though. Don't do that. You're supposed to really clean them up. Really, you're supposed to get them machined, flat. But do that. I don't do that, but you should do that. Yeah, I've done heads on other cars, and I literally take the head off. Don't clean shit up. Take the head gasket off, put the new one on, put it back together, and it's fine. But I guess we'll treat this thing right. You know, it's been through a lot because of me. Vent valve. You know, so I guess it deserves it. You know, so yeah, not as warped as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be worse. Still a little warped, but I think it'll be fine. So as you can see, I got her nice and shiny. Oh, I don't even want to touch with my greasy hand. This will do good. I got to do the same thing on the block. And once I get my valve, put my new valve on there, do a leak down on everything, see if there's any other bent valves. Which I don't think there are because the compression test told me just this one. So we'll see if that one seals with the new valve. Hopefully it does. You got to consider the valve seat is 250,000 miles old and it's a brand new valve. They might not like each other very much, but hopefully they do. Cool is even in the short time that I was driving this thing, with the AFR at least better than it was, these started to clean up really well. These were just black. Same with the spark plug. You can even see the spark plugs start to have a little bit of orange on them now. That's how quick this thing cleaned up once it wasn't running absurdly rich. Put the bent valve back in here, and obviously it doesn't have a tension on it, so it'd be a little bit smaller than this. You can see a little bit there, that hole. That'd be a little bit smaller with a spring on. But that's how it's bent. Because you go over here, there's no hole, So it bent like the whole thing bent this way. Which is just crazy because you can barely tell when it's out. When you just look at it, it's like, oh, that's not too bent. But you gotta look at it for a while, but you'll see that the whole thing is slightly shifted. It's really, really crazy. And zero compression from that, really interesting. So cleaning off the deck here a little bit, or the deck of the block. And I was looking, I cleaned off a little bit of the pistons too. And if you look here, got my bent valve. Look at that. Whoo! Can't really see on camera too well, but that is deep. That would be this guy. Hitting that about right there. It's pretty grooved in there. That's a solid groove. Hit the shit out of this valve. But yeah, that's crazy. That's camera doesn't do it justice, but it's a pretty good groove in there. Hopefully it didn't destroy my piston. I don't know. You can see there's a little groove on all these where this piston hit something. That groove is barely even deep. That's why it didn't bend that. This one's pretty deep though. That one's really deep. I don't think I've done a leak down test, but the compression on this one was good. So surprisingly, even with that deep of a groove, that'd be an intake valve. Don't think it meant it. If I was like really broke and I wanted to put this back together today, I could definitely take a torch and just bend this shit back. Just saying, not gonna do that. Got the block cleaned up good enough. Isn't great, but it'll work. Same with the shit on the head, which I got it cleaned off very well, very well. Just gonna soothe some of my tism real quick. You know, man, this stuff just looks so good. It looks, the video, man, it doesn't do it justice, man. It looks so good in person. It's so nice. It's doing some research on these specific types of machinery, and apparently I might have had some oil or something in my head bolt hose, and that's really not good because it'll give you false torque readings, or you could hydrolock them and you could crack your block, which I could have already done. But we're gonna click this totally did not happen and use the straw method. What I'm gonna do here is I got a straw. All right. In each of these bolt holes, a little bit of oil and coolant, and you know, mix this stuff. So so you don't want to drink the stuff. You just want to stop it right before you cover with your tongue here. Fuck. Oh, that is sludge. That is straight sludge. I made a tactical error. See that? It kind of gets stuck in there, I think. Yeah, it's fucking nasty. Oh, that's an interesting taste. It's honestly not that bad. It really isn't that bad. I thought, you know, I thought diesel oil would taste a little bit worse than that. I'll drink it now. So I finished her off with Scotch Brite and probably brake clean or something. Glass cleaner apparently works the same, but I like to brake clean. Scotch Brite that stuff too. So using the straw method, I got all those guys super duper clean. And after that, there's some sludge, like proper, really slow, like slow moving stuff, you know. It's crazy that I didn't clean those out. Definitely should have cleaned those out. I really fucked putting this car back together. Because, yeah, I could have caused some damage, hydrolocking and stuff. I don't think I did. I feel like if I cracked the block, it would have hurt. But I don't know. Put air in them too, so they're nice and clean. So I'm about to attempt to install my new valve here. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Alright, so I got my Bosch here, man. We can't, the keepers have to come on after the spring is compressed. And we got a C-clamp tool, but it doesn't work because it can't fit. So we resorted to this combination of zip ties here to compress the spring. Hopefully we can put it in there, put the cap on there, put the keepers in there, and then very carefully cut the zip ties, and hopefully it'll seat or it'll explode and we'll lose all my keepers because they fly across the fucking street. We'll see what happens here. Alrighty, man. I can't get this fucking thing on, man. Cause you gotta get this and the cap on and then put the keepers on. You can't go the other way because the keepers are tapered. Yeah, I'm really bamboozled right now. I'm gotta figure something stupid out here. They gave me this tool. I went and got this tool. But it's kind of a shit tool. It doesn't work very good. And I don't have the clearance to be able to use it. So I got another tool. Because those guys don't work. So I got this guy. I think this guy will work. So you can see I have it roughly set up here. So I gotta compress it down, put the keepers on, compress it out. I think this will work. I haven't shown a lot of this because this has been a fucking pain in the ass. Because I've been trying to do it without this proper tool here. But now I got it. I think I'll be able to do it. We'll see here. We are compressing. So I think I got it compressed most of the way. I can go a little bit more, but I think I can get my keepers in there. Which is good. I think this tool is gonna work. Pretty neat little tool here. So miraculously, I got the keepers on. Now, I have to very, very carefully back it off, make sure that everything, you know, seats or something. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but yeah, I'm gonna try to do that here. I can't get a good angle, so just gonna have to wait. Man, believe it or not, man, I think we're good here. It's in. Holy shit. Can you believe that? Wow, that only took me a little while. Yeah, I was struggling all day yesterday trying to do that without this tool here. Alright, there you go, man. Got everything back together. Got all the little clips in, put the eccentric nut and bolt in, man. We're freaking back together here now. I gotta do a leak down test because the lapping might be bad. Are we good? We're good. No way. Don't bend your valve because you have to do all this work. I still have to put it all back together too. And I'm gonna leak down test all the other valves, but went from 0 compression on cylinder number 5 to hopefully some compression. Hopefully a little bit. At least like 100 like all the others. Turn it over a few times and make sure that she's okay. So I'm testing all the other guys here. This one's good, but this one, he's very, very slowly leaking. As you can see there. It's pretty small. It is closed all the way. It's very, very, very slowly leaking out. So I'll test this one is good. And this one, another intake valve. Leaking very slowly again, just like the other one. So clearly part of my, I don't know, the compression is only 20 PSI lower than spec, which ain't much, but it's probably mostly from valves, obviously. This one leaks a little, this one leaks a little. These might all leak a little bit, but obviously not horribly. I don't think I'm gonna go and replace them all. It's too much money, too much work. It had decent compression before, so yeah. I'm just gonna make sure none of them are really bad here, and then I was putting my duck on to spec, and I broke a bolt. Not very good. I'd prefer other than stripping those. I don't like stripping bolts. Breaking bolts, it can be all right. Shouldn't be too tight. Might be able to just get it with vice grips. Hopefully I can. So I got lucky, and in my stash of random ass bolts, I found this guy. He's long, but I'm just gonna add like 20 washers to him, and we'll be good. This way I don't have to go to fucking Ace and get another bolt because I broke it. Oh, I don't know if my fucking torque wrench is set up wrong or something, but I broke another one. And torque 10 newton meters is damn spec. And I didn't have a spare one, so I went to the car. I was like, what would be the right size? Oh, this guy right here. Turns out to be the exact size. So if you turn on, you can break one of these yourself. I just grab your bolt from right here, and this guy will fit. I've broken 2 bolts. I'm gonna make sure I don't break another one. So I finally managed to torque all of them down without breaking one of them. What a miracle, huh? Gosh, man, who would have thought that would have taken so. So I just cleaned everything up again. Got a little system going on to get the headers out of the way because they're always in the way. I'm ready here to put my new head gasket on, get my new bolt holes out. I ran the old bolt holes in the holes bunch, try to get the oil out of there. It's good. So this guy is timed correctly this time. That guy is timed correctly this time. Alrighty, so I skipped a lot of my progress just because you guys have already watched me do it once. So everything's back together. She'll run right now. I got coolant in her, got everything good, everything's connected. About to fire her up. Hopefully I have compression on all 6 of my cylinders now. That'd be great. Alright, I just triple checked my timing from my head to the bottom end, and we're good. So I'm about to try and start it. And hope I don't bend 20 valves. I really hope it doesn't gallop. That would be so. Oil, as expected, is really milky right now, so that might be part of my problem. There's a little tick too that I'm hearing top end. I'm gonna change that real quick. Very milky indeed. Very milky. Very milky. Make sure you change your oil after, else it'll be very milky. You don't want to do that. Just changed the oil in her. She's ready to go, ready to run here. I'm gonna get her up to temp, and then retorque all the head bolts. Make sure they're all good. Bleed the coolant system, and then maybe I'll drive it. I don't know. She's running. Not bad, ticky valves. That's alright. Got back her onto some even ground. Check the oil. Got her up to temp. Just did the final torque stack on all of them. Just checking them. 80 foot-pounds or so. They're all good. Besides this guy, he just keeps turning. And I'm really scared to keep following him. I'll just put it that way. Because all the other guys are like, oh yeah, we're getting tighter now. This guy just keeps going. He's got a pretty noisy valve here too. And it's still pretty milky up here with the oil. So I ran it for a little bit before I changed it. I don't know. Right, that guy's good. He was taking his time a little bit, but I think we got him. So I'll put this thing back together. I got a noisy lifter or valve or something. I don't know which one. It's pretty noisy though. Like really loud. I hope it's a valve train noise. So I got it all back together here. I think I'm about to go drive it. And I think it's gonna go okay. I had a little leak down there, low radiator hose. I'm gonna make sure that goes away because I've blown one of those up before and lost all my coolant without realizing and warped ahead and destroyed the motor. Anyways, make sure your radiator hoses are tight. I think everything's good here. I hope everything's good here. I don't know. Got the fan and everything back on, so hopefully that's all good. I don't know. It might not be. Who knows what happened. Well, I didn't record any of it because I was taking it all in. You know, I've done a lot of work to it, but drove it pretty far distance, furthest than it's ever been. Went to the gas station, filled it up with gas, filled the fuel seal up with gas. It runs all right. Doesn't run perfect. It's got a little hesitation occasionally. It's not perfect. I think figured out all the leaks. I don't think it's leaking. It's holding the oil, so as of what I can tell. Holding coolant. Tick is still there. The valve train tick. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it did good. It pulls good. It's kind of fast for a 1986. For an 80s car, it's fucking flying. Runs cold. Might be a thermostat somebody else put in, a lower degree thermostat, I don't know. Got 15 gallons of gas, max capacity. Nice. It shifted good. Brakes good. Brakes aren't great, but the brakes are good. They're good enough. All I gotta do now is put the rear muffler back on. Now I'm gonna show you guys I hinted at it earlier, my new wheels and brand new tires. Things gonna look good, man. It's gonna look real good. Alrighty. So as you can see, I got on the garage gutter on that. I put the gas tank back in. Not fully. 2 out of 3 bolts just to hold it in. I can't go into detail about why I needed to do that, but it has something to do with registration kind of thing. Put the muffler back on. Got the hanger on there. Used to not hang. Well, that's just chicken wire, but it used to, drag and hit the floor because there wasn't a hanger there. But now it's got a hanger, and so that's back in. That's back in. Now, I'll put my new wheels on. That's the spare. I think it might be the original spare, but it's a TRX wheel. TRX Michelin, made in Germany. 200. So I'm gonna put my new wheels on, and yeah, you get to see what those are, man. They're on there. 5 S's. Very nice. Very nice. 16-inch, 16 by 8. Fit 225s on there. They rub very lightly in the front, but not too bad. Looks pretty good. I think I figured out the ticking noise. It's hard to see on video, but this guy is he's tight. I can't fit even 0.005 between that eccentric and the valve, so I'm gonna loosen that up. Hopefully it'll fix my problem. I just figured it out, I think. That's not me, that's the car, I promise. It's doing crazy things right there, I don't know. Do the valve adjustment from the cam side. So the rocker and the cam right there. And he said to do 0.008 on that side. So I just did that. This is where it's coming from, it's one of these valves. So I just did that on these 4 valves. I got it semi put back together here. Let's see if the tick's gone. Definitely still there. So all that was, I was checking my oil sprayer bar, make sure it's all working, and it is. You can see in the video, it's dripping out of there right onto the cam lobe. Oh yeah, so she's getting lube all over. One guy said he just fucking didn't give a fuck about his. He put 80,000 miles on his so far, and he just doesn't care. He just keeps going with a big ass engine tick. I mean, I guess I could just do that. This isn't that big of an issue, A little valve train tick isn't too bad, but So I could end the video here because the car runs and drives pretty good. I'd trust it to get me to where I need to go, generally. Maybe not 100%, because I still haven't driven it much, but I think it's fine. So I just could end it here, but you know, fuck it, I'm gonna keep going. Still have some issues that I'm gonna figure out here. First one, it's got a pretty large exhaust leak towards the front of the cat. So I'm gonna try to weld that up real quick. Hopefully I'll fix it up. It's not that big. You can't hear it. It's there though. So I'm gonna try to properly fix it up. Man, it's the first time I've ever actually properly been underneath this car. And yeah, it's leaking oil, don't get me wrong. But man, it's not too bad really. I think the previous owner did a good job on this car because the bushings aren't too bad. Most of them look like they've been replaced at least once in their life, which is pretty revolutionary. It looks pretty good. I probably have a rear main seal leak right there. Oh, she looks pretty solid. It's kind of crazy because I've had this car for so long. I've done so much shit and I've never been under here. I can't see shit, but look it, Bubba. I can barely see anything because of the cat, you know, it's pressed up against the body. So I'm kind of just guessing. We got something done. My fucking balls hurt. I didn't show you what it looked like before because there's not really any visible holes. It was more like the air was leaking through these little covers. So I tried to... Yeah, really horribly I welded them up, I guess. So I just watched the video back and those welds look absolutely horrible. They look like they wouldn't do nothing, but I'm willing to bet that it's not leaking anywhere near as bad because they still look like it maybe shut some things up. I just took this thing for a drive and I was about to leave and I was, something smells funny. I left anyways. Kind of ran like shit. Started backfiring. That's not good. So I stopped and I looked and my whole fuel row was covered in fuel. Then I looked here. My brand new fuel pressure's O-ring just busted. I don't know how that happens. But yeah, there's a lot of fuel pouring out of this guy. So I had horrible fuel pressure because it was getting lost. That's ridiculous though. Sorry, this car just went by with the license plate G string. Don't know how that one got through, but whatever. I'm gonna go look at my my old one, see how that O-ring's doing. Here's my old one. O-ring seems to be good. It's definitely a little old. I don't know how to prevent that from happening again. I guess I installed it wrong. I have no idea. It took a while for the car to start. And I was like, well, that's weird. Usually it doesn't take that long. And yeah, it's because my fuel pressure was leaking out of that O-ring. I don't know why that happened. And I don't know how to not have that happen again. Because I feel like this should be fine. The pressure itself, the fuel FPR itself. So I'm going to reuse it, but... yeah, I guess I'll just put it back in. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. So put the new one on with the new O-ring. I don't know if you... it's very hard to see. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Try. But as you can see there, it's tapered. The O-ring doesn't seat right. Maybe that's a me error, but even this new O-ring, it kind of sits in there like this. Part of it beeps out, and the other part of it is like sealing properly, I guess. These things are such pain in the asses to change, man. But I got it in. Fucking fine. Yeah, you put one side in, you gotta force the other side, and it's hard to line up the threads. It's fucking pain in the ass. This is the old one. That's the old FPR. I didn't check this one. I didn't have my fuel pressure gauge to see if it was good or anything. So it might be fine, might not be. I replaced it with that one. Just precautionary maintenance kind of thing. But it turns out this one is, see that flange? Yeah, they bend when you install them. Because they're made like shit. We're gonna see if this guy's good. I got it hooked up and everything. Hopefully it regulates the pressure well. So far seems to be good. 40 PSI. That's good. months since the last clip, and this thing's been great. Hasn't given me any big issues, just some minor fuel leaks from some hoses that weren't clamped all the way down. But I've driven it a bunch past few months. It's been my daily pretty much, and it's been good. So I'm probably gonna end the video here, but I'm gonna drive it real quick, and the camera's probably gonna fall down. So I hope you enjoy this. Now the odometer stopped working. That's another thing I can add, which kind of sucks. Because I also don't have a fuel gauge, so now I just can't track how much fuel I have ever. So I gotta get a fuel gauge working, which the wires are all there, so I can get that going. But she's been pretty good. Because this video started in December. It's almost July. Shows you how long it fucking took me to get this thing going. Runs pretty good. Got all the shit out of the back. Put my, the fuel tank that wasn't connected to the car anymore. The original one, got that out. She's pretty, she's fast for an 80s car. She's pretty fun. Not bad at all. Up to speed, man. Let me tell you, top end is a great top end. She just keeps going, She really does just keep going. Pretty fun. Definitely not slow. I mean, I guess unless like you're talking very modern car, but